Hey there, folks. Welcome to WCB, the underground sound of Emerson College. We are technically not experts. How y'all doing today? I'm Elliot Kelton.
And I'm Daryn Snyderwin, and here at Technically Not Experts, we talk about our hyperfixations that we are so passionate about and explain to the other person who has no knowledge on the subject. So while we're technically not experts, we are for all intents and purposes. But today,
not legally.
However, we are not the experts. Today we have a couple of guests. The first guests on this show ever. We have our good friends, Oliver Schaffer and Reilly Leconte. Can you guys say hi?
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for coming. So can you guys tell the audience what you're going to be explaining to us today?
Oh.
I'm going to turn my camera on. So we're on Zoom, by the way. I'm going to turn my camera on so this becomes a little less awkward. And we can
it's like we're just hanging out right now.
Yeah.
All right, so today, some people might say, unfortunately, we're going to be talking about Homestuck.
Okay. Why unfortunately? We don't know anything about Homestuck. For the first time ever, both me and Elliot
are not the experts.
We're the stupid ones.
I wouldn't say that you're stupid. Maybe you're smart for not having ever read Homestuck.
Oh, you can read it. We don't know what it is.
Okay. So, all right. I guess we can just get right into it. So here's the tea about Homestuck. So
wait, hold on. 1 second.
Oh, we're not doing that yet.
Okay. So
we're going to explain what we think Homestuck is. And then
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't even worry about it. It's not even a problem. So, Elliot, what do you think Homestuck is?
So I used to think it was a video game, but someone told me I was incorrect. So now I think it's a web series of some sorts, and with animations involved, and I think it's like a comic book, but on the internet.
A comic book that's animated?
Yeah.
Do you mean drawn?
Yes. And I think I know it has something to do with zodiac signs.
Does it?
I think it does.
Okay, I have no idea about anything about Homestuck. I was under the impression that Homestuck was kind of like creepypasta, and that it was kind of like this sort of unattached fandom that kind of just exists in small stories that fans created about certain characters or certain concepts, and not necessarily like a thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
I would say you're both right, and you're also both wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a combination of both of aspects of both of those things. Yeah, so I mean,
now you may go into the explanation.
I'm allowed to tell you what it is now. Okay, so here's the tea about Homestuck. Homestuck is something that is bigger than any of us here today, bigger than anybody listening, bigger than this whole program. So
I already disagree.
It is, well, we haven't even gone into it. It's a web comic. It is a web comic that is 8,123 pages that combines single panels, instant messaging logs, and flash animations all together.
What?
It's written by Andrew Hussey over the span of multiple years. It only ended recently. It's had its fair share of ups and downs. It has a really chaotic fan base, which is why I said in the beginning that maybe unfortunately we're talking about Homestuck today. But it also has lots of song covers, because Homestuck was popular back when song covers were really popular. Lots of art, fan-made content. The fan base is very much intertwined with the comic, but we're not really going to talk about the fan base much today because that's its own ball of wax. So basically, Homestuck just means a lot to a lot of people. But because it's so big, there's already a lot of spin-offs in the works. There's Homestuck 2. It's literally called Homestuck 2. There's Hive Swap, and there's a few other spin-offs that are in the works, but those are the main ones right now. Even while writing the script, Oliver and I realized we're not even going to be able to begin to cover the entire plot, or even just the whole beginning, because there's so much to cover. That's how deep this lore is.
That's 8 Deathly Hallows books, or something like that. That's a lot of stuff.
It's so intense.
I do have some questions already, though.
Yeah.
Why is it called Homestuck?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. It's kind of a mystery.
So it's this collection. It's basically like a big comic series with like, because it's online, it can be of like multiple different kinds of media, but it's like a general it has its roots in the comic and then has like spread from there and become bigger than it was.
And now there's like it has its own video game and lots of other types of things, and then
it is a video game.
I knew it was a
There
video
you
game.
go.
There is a video game version of it, but it's mostly just the comic that you can read. And then there's also a web series where people read it to you. So there is a web series aspect to it if you do choose to consume it in that route. But also, if you're not a big fan of webcomics, you can now purchase Homestuck as a book. It always gives me whiplash when I see it at Barnes & Noble. It is the most evil thing. Like, I'm just kind of in like the graphic novel section, kind of like, you know, looking at like my Umbrella Academies and my Wonder Womans and what have you. And then I see Homestuck on the shelf right next to it. It's insane.
You could purchase it as a book, but
Yeah.
like it's multi different types of media. So how is that?
I don't know. I've kind of flipped through it myself. I flipped through a couple of the different volumes, and I don't think it transfers well.
Volumes?
Volumes,
Yeah.
multiple. There are multiple
Maybe it's
volumes.
just the comic that's on there and not the other stuff.
Yeah, but to understand before you start understanding the mechanics of Homestuck, you need to understand the man who made it, Andrew
Hussey.
So I'm going to pass this off to Oliver.
The man, the myth, the legend. He
Oh God.
Starting off strong.
He's 41 years old and still kicking today.
If you're trying to imagine what this man looks like, you just have to picture Nathan Fielder, but if he were evil.
Okay.
He has a self-insert character in the comic, which he uses to explain things about the comic just because the comic gets so confusing.
Oh my God, we love postmodernism.
Is it similar to like a Wattpad, like author's note type of thing?
Yeah, kind of. He's very complicated in real life. He's a K-pop fan, and he was a campaign person for Bernie Sanders. So he's also
yay.
So he's in politics.
Yeah, he's an LGBT ally.
Yay.
He did a contest. He's done multiple contests. He did one with like the person who won got to make anything they wanted canon.
Mm-hmm.
And they made one of the characters being trans canon. He also used fan interaction to create most of Homestuck. So like he named the 4 main characters on internet forums. The first 4 people to comment got to name them. So like go him or whatever.
Sick. He actually sounds like a pretty cool dude. Is he a cool dude?
He sounds decent.
He is interesting. While he did declare that one of the main characters of Homestuck is trans, in the same breath, he also made one of the other characters very, very transphobic.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the same breath, in the exact same, in one fell swoop, he was like, you know what? We can't have, you know what, too many good things are bad for you, so we need to have some bad things. For sure.
We need to even this out.
Yeah, if you have one character be trans, you have to have another character be relentlessly transphobic, homophobic, what have you.
I wouldn't say he's like chaotic neutral, chaotic good. He's just chaotic.
Agree.
Yeah.
I mean, he did create Homestuck, and I think he wrote most of it himself, and he came up with this, you know, intense lore and the shipping quadrants and the blood colors and we're gonna get to that, but it's like,
what? Wait, what?
Wait.
So okay,
So wait,
there's quadrants?
oh my god,
blood
there's quadrants.
Let's get into it. What is actually Homestuck? So within Homestuck, there's a game called Suburb. Did I say that right?
Suburb. It's yeah.
SPURB. And it's meant to end the world.
We take some notes.
So as soon as
the
you
game
start,
is meant to end the world.
Yeah.
Yes. As soon as you start playing, there are meteors
Oh.
that just come to your house. You have to learn alchemy. You have to be your own like unique fetch. Like you have to build and explore the world. It's all up to you.
There are like a bunch of different
Sounds
goals.
like Jumanji.
It's
But
worse
Sounds
than
like
Jumanji. At least in Jumanji.
It sounds like Jumanji mixed with like Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean, at least in Jumanji, you get to go back to normal after you win. This is not the case. So there's sorts of different goals.
The world is just over.
It's over. The world is over, and now you have to. Well, let me just explain. So basically, there's all these different goals that you have to do. Like the first goal that you have is to harvest the kernel and therefore design the game. So basically, once you start the game, you have to you have all these different items that you've got to put in your house so you can learn alchemy. And once you do that, this thing pops out. It's called the kernel sprite, whatever. And then you have to prototype it. So you experiment with alchemy.
What is the kernel?
It's like a spirit that is meant to be your guide, but it can't be your guide unless you throw something into it. So the whole deal with the kernel is that it's your guide. So
I'm sorry, you guys look so confused.
You experiment with alchemy, carve totems, and acquire grist. These are words that are used very frequently but are never explained. You just kind of have to understand what they are. Alchemy is you make stuff,
it's just like the Force.
Totems are the stuff you make, and then grist is like the money. And then, so once you prototype the kernel, like for example, the main character, he puts this
Who is the main character?
Doll. We're getting there. He puts this clown doll into the kernel. I'm about to sneeze. Jeez Louise. He puts this clown doll into it. And then the sprite becomes a combination of the clown doll, and then he puts his grandmother's ashes into it, so it's like his clown grandma is his guide.
Why?
I know.
Why put your grandmother's ashes?
That's the first
Why not?
His grandmother's ashes kind of get knocked into it. It was an accident. So then,
oh my god.
But as you prototype the kernel, the game changes. The monsters that you have to fight kind of become themed to whatever it is you prototyped the kernel with. So not only is his spirit guide like his clown grandma, but now he has to fight a bunch of evil clown grandmas, basically. And
okay,
so every time,
so it's like the kernel, essentially just it's a living, is it a living thing or is it just
sort
a thing? Okay, so it's like a living thing that can mix stuff together to create something monstrous or something interesting.
The more players that prototype their own kernels, the more and more terrifying that the game gets, because you're adding in all these sorts of elements. I think there's a dead cat that gets
there is a dead cat
put into it, and then there's one of the actual main characters finds his own dead body and then shoves it in there too. It's a whole thing. A lot of dead bodies.
Oh my god.
We're not even there yet. So then the second goal is that you have to climb the eshel ladder, which is as you fight monsters and get grist, which is money, you can kind of climb up and build your house to the sky where this portal is. And the more and more monsters you fight, the more grist you acquire, all these missions that you complete, you can climb up the ranks, and you have there's all sorts of different names for them. I don't remember the names exactly, but it's like titles pretty much. But then once you get to the top of the eshel ladder, then you have the next goal, which are the god tiers. So
god tiers.
Wait, I have a question. If this is a comic book type thing, how are you choosing what to prototype? How are you putting things into?
You choose.
You don't choose it. I think the characters choose.
The characters choose. You just kind of watch them do it.
It's not a choose your own adventure. It's we're watching other people choose their own adventure.
Oh, okay.
Explaining what the game is like if you had to do it.
Got it.
So god tiering, if you've ever heard anyone say the phrase god tier as a meme, it comes from Homestuck. So
it does?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it just came from the tier list that people would make on YouTube.
Wait, Reilly.
God tier is
Reilly, what was your god tier?
What was my god tier? I was the Witch of Breath.
What? Is this like Hogwarts houses? Do you have a god tier you're in?
Hogwarts houses, but it's so much worse. There's just so many more categories and things, and the extended zodiac. It's ridiculous. But anyways.
Okay. I'm a big Zodiac fan. We all know
we're
it.
Gonna get there.
We're not even there yet. We will get to you will know when we're at the zodiac thing. So God tiering
We're
is
talking
not
about the astrology, right? Not like the Zodiac killer.
Yeah.
Got it.
God tiering is not the end of the game. God tiers are like their own separate system. It's like a whole different ladder that you have to climb. And once you do that, you kind of get like your own class and aspect, which is like D&D stuff, whatever.
Okay.
You rise through the ranks, you get your own like god powers and stuff. And then the last goal is actually beating the game. Believe it or not, there's still a whole game that you have to win. Once you go through your first portal, you leave your own world behind, you get assigned to a new one. One of them's like Frost and Frogs, Wind and Shade, stuff like that. You keep going through all these worlds, fighting all the monsters, and once you pass through the 7 gates, then you can beat the game. The entire game is played out in the medium, which is like another universe. Skya is like where some like 5D chess is happening. That's where the real game is being played out. And then after that, you get to win the prize. What's the prize, you ask?
What is the prize?
What is the prize?
You get to create your own universe because you're a god. You ascend
Is this
to
what like?
godhood.
Is this Mormonism?
Something like that. Maybe.
Is this like how like? Is this like what
How-
Mormon people think that the afterlife is like? Is you get to like create your own universe or something like that?
It's like you ascend to godhood and create your own universe. And like that's
So-
it. Like that's the game. Once you play this game, you're setting in motion this plan to become a god and like rule the universe and create your own.
That's a sick prize, but terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying.
Especially when you consider the fact that most of these main characters are like 13 years old.
Oh no! You don't want a 13-year-old to like make a universe.
No. A 13-year-old should not be a god.
A 13-year-old shouldn't even be close to making their own like just like hair decisions, let alone like
When I was 13,
universe.
I number one could not control an entire universe. I could barely control like waking up in the morning, doing
You could
my
barely
homework.
control your own body, let
Yeah.
alone like the rest of the universe.
Speaking of 13-year-olds, let's introduce the 4 main characters.
Wait, they're 13?
They're
Yes.
all 13?
Oh
Yeah.
no.
There's John, Rose, Dave, and Jade. I'm going to start with John. It is his 13th birthday, and he gets this game as like a present. His name is John Egbert. He's turning 13 on 4/13.
That's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Reagan.
Shout out to Reagan.
Shout out to Reagan and Reese too.
He
Shout
arrived to Earth on a meteor that killed his ectobiology mother, causing his half-brother
Wait.
on a father role.
What is an ectobiology mother?
Yeah, so it's like cloning. So it's like a weird way of cloning. All the characters are born this way. It's how
The characters are born in the middle of the story and then get sent out to do stuff.
Oh.
I'm confused about connotations here because
Me too.
Is it like
ectobiology? Like, yeah, is it ectoplasm? Is it ghostly?
It's like we've got like some goo in there. I think that's kind of where that comes from.
Okay.
So it's just like
basically
goopy
cloning and breeding.
Okay.
Ooh, I do not like that.
He lives alone.
Listen, buddy, I'm gonna be honest, I don't love it.
He lives alone with his dad in the suburbs, who's actually his half brother.
Wait. His father is his half brother.
Yeah,
I
because
had water in my mouth. What?
remember, he arrived to Earth on a meteor that killed his ectobiology mother, causing his half brother to take on the father role. It's like you're not paying attention or following.
Well, listen, it's a little hard to like.
It's slightly convoluted.
What a task.
He hates Betty Crocker.
Absolutely despises the woman.
He loves Nick Cage, and his like weapon is a hammer. That's all.
First red flag is that he loves Nick Cage.
Second red flag, he hates Betty Crocker. This guy sounds like
he loves the wrong things, he hates the wrong things.
Although hammer, decent weapon.
It's an okay weapon.
I think John Egbert would be a visual media arts major.
He definitely
for sure
would.
He'd
be like a film Chad. He would like love the Joker.
Next, there's Rose Lalonde. She's also 13. They're all 13. She
Okay.
lives with her mom in the woods. Her mom is an alcoholic.
Perfect.
Of course. You
She
can't have like 13-year-olds in any fiction without one of the parents being either dead or an alcoholic.
she
Or a half brother.
She likes wizards, astronomy. Her weapon is like a wand. She is definitely a Hermione Kinney, like for sure.
Yes. Same.
They were knitting needles. Her wands were knitting needles.
So she's like a really powerful wizard. And once she learns that she can't, also you can't win she realizes that she can't win the game, as in she can't save Earth. So once she realizes that, she just kind of goes ham to the point where even her friends notices something's off. She's like, Rose, I think you're going a little like cuckoo, you're not right anymore. But she's so smart, powerful, and a little out there as a tree. Also, she is gay.
Cool.
Alrighty.
We're good at that.
Which one's the trans one?
Oh, that's John.
That's John. You didn't mention that.
I did not. Also, Rose is Rose is a lesbian. She falls in love. Well, she's not a lesbian. I believe she's bi. There's
Canonically.
And she falls in love with a alien.
Same.
As we do.
We love aliens.
Is the alien at least like cool?
Is it a sexy alien?
Oh,
is
no,
it a hot
amazing.
alien?
She's a vampire alien.
Yes.
Two of my favorite things.
Aliens.
Vampires and aliens.
Yes.
Speaking of loving aliens, that brings us to Dave Strider. Believe it or not.
I've heard of him.
I know. I talk about him a lot. Another 13-year-old. He lives with his bro in like some sort of city somewhere. But he loves rap music and katana swords. He's just boys being dudes, stuff like that. He really idolizes his older brother, despite the fact that he's really not all that great. His brother is always challenging to him to all these sorts of fights, kind of like preparing him for the game.
Duel me, brother.
It's like his brother. It's like his brother kind of knew that the game was going to happen and prepared him by engaging in all this combat with him all the time. So
hello, brother.
Dave becomes the Knight of Time and spends the majority of the game trying to create stable time loops and avoid these doomed timelines. Unstable.
Wait.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so he becomes the Knight of Time.
Yes.
Yeah. What part of that is confusing?
At 13 years old, and he's trying to create stable time loops.
Yes.
Can you go into more definition about stable time loops?
So,
no.
I mean, honestly, it's very confusing. But the thing about the time loops is that he has to make sure that he's avoiding paradoxes.
Why are there paradoxes?
Because when you
time
travel,
is involved.
That is when you create paradoxes. And the thing about Dave is that unstable time loops allow this character to run into dead versions of himself, and they say like, oh, dead Daves are the enemy, and they just keep like piling up, which is why he's able to like, don't laugh, it's not funny.
I'm interested. Like, just the sentence, like, dead Daves are piling up just makes me want to laugh.
It's
so
true.
hard.
That's how he's able to prototype his own kernel sprite with himself.
Interesting. So anyway, I do have a quick question. Did anyone play like the Stanley Paradox or Parable or whatever?
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, so this reminds me of that. Whenever I hear a paradox, I'm immediately like, yes, Stanley Paradox. Is it anything like that?
I'm sure it's the game is called the Stanley Parable, which is
same difference
than a paradox.
The paradox, I believe, in question is when you time travel, when you exist in two different eras of time. That alone creates a paradox because you exist in two different eras of time. But say you stop someone from dying, but they're still considered dead when you knew them or whatever. Like,
that's a paradox.
When things exist but can't exist at the same time, usually that's a paradox. And so, I'm not shocked that he runs into paradoxes when time traveling, but like he runs into dead versions of himself, like in different timelines. So like if he time travels, sorry, we're like saying so much on Dave, but like if he time travels, does he like go to does he create new timelines every time he time travels, like in like Avengers Endgame?
I am actually not sure about that.
Okay.
I think the answer is yes, but I'm not positive. That's gonna require more research. I didn't know we would be so interested in Dave Strider today.
I feel like he's just an interesting character.
He isn't.
Just
He's
time
honestly
traveling.
I was definitely more of like a John, Kinney myself, but I do love Dave Strider.
John is the first character we're introduced to, so I feel like
Right.
Yeah, I got very attached to him very quickly.
Can you please explain to the audience what a kinney is?
I think they know if they're listening to us.
So a kinney is just when you relate to a character really hardcore. That's like the basic part of it.
If you like,
it's just a funny way of saying I relate to this character really, really hard.
If you kin them, that means like you see yourself in them.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
So, okay, last up, we have Jade Harley. Daryn, I really think you're going to like this girl.
Best name so far.
I like the name.
She's 13. She's probably the most intriguing one of the entire group. She lives on an island alone. Used to live with her grandpa, but he's since died and is now stuffed. Like he's just... Yeah.
What?
Like a dog?
Yeah,
like an animal?
Like an animal. Like, just kind of hanging out there. Oh, well, anyways, her big thing is guns because her grandfather taught her how to hunt, and that's like her whole deal. She lives with her dog, Becquerel, who can time and space travel. He's very, very cool.
Why?
Fun.
Becquerel ends up getting prototyped into the Colonel sprite, which makes the game like impossible to win. Because now that all of their enemies can time and space travel, it just is so much more difficult. Jade, though, has the advantage of dreams that have prophecies. So it allows her to warn all of her friends about like upcoming events in the game. All the players have like real selves and dream selves. So so when they are asleep and they're dreaming, they can go to either Prospit or Durs, which is like two different moons or different planets that circle Skya.
Mm-hmm.
What's Skya?
It's where the game is happening, like the 5D chess.
Got it.
So that's just a fun fact. These 4 kids communicate with each other using instant messaging, and they check in on one another very frequently. And they have really, really, really long and detailed conversations with one another about some very, very heavy topics. They're interconnected through the game, so one kid is both a player as well as a server host for another player. So they're very much in.
What's a server host?
So
Are you kidding?
I don't know what a server host is. I'm sorry. What is a server host?
You existed in middle school and you don't know what a server host is?
I was not popular in middle school.
So one kid is they're playing their own session and they're also hosting another person's session. So I think it's Rose that is hosting John's session. And then it's...
Dave is hosting Rose's session.
Jade is hosting Dave's session, and then John is hosting
Dave's.
So they're all like interconnected and like hosting each other's. Basically, they're making it so that they can talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun shenanigans along the way. And then there's like this whole other storyline about like these other characters that like find these big abandoned structures and have like a city made out of cans in there, but we're not even going to get into all that today. Instead, we're going to talk about some of the fan favorite characters, which are the 12 internet trolls that torment these children for pretty much the entire game, and it's been going on for like years before the game even starts.
12 internet trolls. Are these the Zodiacs?
Yeah. So
before you get into the like who the trolls are, you need to know about like
the lore. Yeah. So
there's more lore.
This is their lore. This is like the troll lore. It's called the hemo spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
So the hemo as in blood?
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
The troll blood Zodiacs.
They all have different color blood. And each blood color means a different thing. So it's like a class. The lower blood you have, the fewer amount of years you live. Like the blood type determines your job. So, for example, yellow bloods do technology and psychic stuff, and purple bloods are royalty.
What if you're like a yellow blood, but you're really bad at technology?
That's not a thing.
Yeah.
You just are. It's like factions.
But in Divergent, the whole entire thing of Divergent is that you can break out of the faction.
But you can't.
Not in Homestuck.
Yeah. So
Can't break out.
Each character
Stuck.
aligns.
Homestuck.
Each character aligns with the zodiac sign, and they're like basically caricatures of the zodiac sign. But don't forget the extended zodiac, which is aneurysm inducing. So we're just not going to go into that.
What is the extended zodiac?
We're not getting into it, Elliot.
But can you at least describe what it is?
It's like each of the 12 signs has 12 signs of its own.
Oh,
So
interesting.
It's like a zodiac that has 144 different signs.
We're not getting into that. We're really not.
Let's talk about like the blood types, and what zodiac signs are assigned to them. So there's low blood, which is like the lowest class of people. They're the shades of reds and yellows and like oranges. And they are the Cancers, Taurus, Gemini, Leo, and Aries.
For the viewers out there, my jaw just dropped. How dare Tauruses be low blood? Are you kidding? Tauruses could be like run the world.
No, they could not.
Yes, they could.
Incorrect.
About the Taurus character.
Oh,
that guy's a whip. I'll say it.
I might be remembering incorrectly. I believe, mid-blood is next. I think Leo might be a mid-blood, but I might be remembering incorrectly.
I think it's mid.
Yeah. So mid-blood is like the overlapping between low and high. So they're shades of greens and blues, kind of like ends around teal, and like a dark navy blue. So it's Libra, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Virgo, and Leo.
How dare Scorpios be above Tauruses?
So, wait, Oliver, you as a Sagittarius read this knowing that you were just going to be true neutral, like you're just in the middle.
You're the middle class of blood.
The character that my zodiac sign is assigned to, I'm not gonna lie, not my favorite character.
I do not claim this negative energy. I do not claim that negative energy.
Next,
what's your zodiac sign, Reilly?
I like the Libra character. I'm a Libra, but the Sagittarius character is not the best.
I love
what's your Aries, right?
I'm a Pisces.
Or you're Pisces, never mind.
Well,
you're Pisces.
You're gonna love the Pisces character.
So high bloods are purples and pinks, and they can live to be over 12 million years old.
That's too long. That's don't live that long.
Far too old.
They are Pisces and Aquarius.
Damn it. Dare you be royalty.
Capricorn, and they are royalty.
Wait,
Capricorn is royalty?
You never mentioned Libras.
Yeah, they're mid-blood.
Yeah, they're mid-blood.
Oh.
Are we sure Capricorn's high blood? I think it's only Pisces and Aquarius.
Well, so you're telling me...
Oh, you forgot about Capricorn in the mid.
Blood.
Capricorn, I would say, is mid.
Capricorn's
poor blood.
Is that
well, if you think about it, the Sagittarius character wanted the Capricorn character to like talk down.
You're right. Okay.
That's a whole thing.
So what we're establishing is that Oliver and Reilly are middle class blood people. I am low class blood, and you are royalty blood, Elliot.
I am the best of the best. I'm so sexy. I'm so hot. Everyone be jealous. I'm living 12 million years.
You will not live 12 million years.
That's not a brag.
No, your character...
Please, God, no one allow me to live 12 million years.
Your character is literally like the top, like royalty. Like the princess. Mermaid princess.
Oh, yes.
Your character's a mermaid princess?
Guys, I am winning right now. I got the best character.
So when you say your character, you're assigning people's character, like the Zodiac troll people, you're assigning them to us. Is that like a common thing in Homestuck? Where...
Yeah.
It's like your patron troll.
Like the opposite of a patron saint. Patron troll.
So much worse than a patron saint.
You don't want it. So let's talk about the trolls a little bit more. There is so much to say about these characters, and characters they are. Um,
we gather that part.
they all have their own color as well as typing quirk, so it makes their text like that much harder to read. So, for example, one of the characters like types in like random lowercase and capital, but I do love that girl.
It's like the girl from Paper Towns.
Yeah. I'm quirky, and so I'm gonna write in all middle confusing type things because why not?
Because
I
don't
feel
other
like
letters
M's
deserve to be capitalized?
I feel like all M's should be capital.
Most people, when reading Homestuck, will just skip right to the trolls. They're not wrong, but they're not right either.
Why are the trolls so great that we're skipping right to them?
It's because they're like kind of the fan favorites. Like people will stick around for them because there's so many of them and they're so dynamic.
It's like, this is really just outing myself as a nerd. You know how at Comic-Cons, they have those like panels and you can go and people cosplay as the characters?
No.
Do they all cosplay as like the Zodiacs?
People will cosplay as the trolls and there'll be a panel and it'll be all of them there.
I cannot believe we're talking about this right now. I still have like a bunch of those videos saved in like my YouTube likes. Like
I used to watch those all the time. I wanted to be in one of those panels.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so cute.
That is not cute. That's so cringy.
That's cringy and cute.
It's not cringe, it's endearing.
So we're going to start with one of my favorite characters, Carcat
Of course he's
Vantes.
your favorite character.
He has cherry red blood and he's a Cancer, so that makes him the lowest of the lows. He's a mutant.
Of course you'd kin like a poor guy.
Poor blood, ha ha ha.
He actually is mutant blood, but he hides it because he's ashamed he won't be taken seriously. And he's so angry all the time, and for what?
I bet you play tieflings in D&D, Oliver.
Oh, that was the greatest burn I have ever heard in my entire life.
Tieflings are cool, but hey.
No, that's correct.
It's okay. I play half elves, which isn't much better.
Let's be honest.
Elves, hey.
You get a lot of perks being a half elf.
I love playing a good half orc. I'm a big half orc fan because then I don't have to remember magic and I'm just violent all the time. It's so good.
You're probably like a barbarian type.
Oh, every single time I'm barbarian.
I think you're really gonna like Gamzee.
Ew.
Gamzee.
I guess we'll get to that.
I'm assuming Gamzee's Gemini.
No.
No.
Why did you assume that?
Because Gamzee, Gemini.
Because they have this like G's.
Well, Carcat and Cancer sound similar.
Well,
Not at all.
he's so angry all the time.
Scratch out.
And for what? For heart problems. That's for what?
He gets into arguments with himself in like the future.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Next we have, I'm going to say her name wrong for sure. Aradia, how do you? Megiddo. She is burgundy blood and she's an Aries. She is dead.
You said that so matter-of-factly.
Goodbye, Aradia.
She is dead. However,
Blood is spilled all over the floor.
However, she is able to have a body again as a robot.
Ooh, fun.
Yes.
Is she still a low blood?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Even
we'll
the
tell
robot?
you. Yeah. We will tell you when we get to like the mediums. And she's a big time crush on this other troll named Solex. Did I say that right?
I love him. I'm sorry, but I like him.
Next, we have the Taurus for Daryn. He is a bronze blood. His name is Tavros.
That's a cool name.
He is obsessed with the troll version of Peter Pan.
That sounds like my boyfriend, not me.
He did get pushed off a cliff by another one of the trolls.
Oh?
Is he also dead?
No, he's just in a wheelchair.
I wasn't ready.
You got pushed off a cliff. Is he dead? No, he's just like in a wheelchair.
He's disabled.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being in a wheelchair, but like the girl that pushed him over really did not have to do that.
No.
Who pushed him
Wait,
over?
so he was pushed.
Oh yeah,
He was fought.
pushed.
I mean,
pushed him?
Friska. I mean, she's kind of a girl boss, but also
No,
like,
you can't. No, please don't. No, we're not gonna do that here. We can't do Vriska did nothing wrong here today.
she did a lot wrong.
She did a lot wrong. She's not a girl boss.
Okay, who's that?
Who is Vriska?
Well, we'll get
Are we
there.
gonna get to her?
We're going in order of the zodiac. So next we have Solix
Okay.
Captor, a yellow blood. He's a Gemini. He's kind of one of my favorites. He's special. He has psychic powers, and because he's a Gemini, he has 2 dream selves, and everything he does is like in 2s, which is cool.
Is he
but
like,
he had a vision that he has to go blind before the story is over. But he's good with computers. He kind of has this like little thing going on with Aradia and also with another one of the characters. But he's kind of, I mean, just because he's good with technology, it leads me to believe he could kind of be an incel, but he...
Well, you like incels, so it's okay.
That's not true. That's false.
Wait, this is Solix?
Yes.
Okay.
He is really good with technology, psychic, all that jazz. He pretty much checks off all the boxes. And then next up, we have a very complicated character, Nepeta Leon.
Either one of those, yeah.
She's a Leo. She's got olive blood. She's the OG cat girl.
Oh no.
She ships her friends
No.
all the time based on the 4-quadrant shipping system, and this is just a basic explanation of it. The 4-quadrant shipping system is that either your friends, lovers, enemies, or enemies to lovers.
Yeah.
That's it.
Is that like that sounds like one of those like cootie catcher things that you like would make, and you like, I don't know if anyone else had these when they were in elementary school. Like ding dong, open it, pick one, and then you open it again. Like what kind of relationship do you want to have? Or like what kind of relationship are we? And then we'll say like enemies, lovers, friends, enemies to lovers. It sounds like one of that.
That's exactly what it is. That's like exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Is
Nepeta younger than the other trolls, or does she just act that way?
She acts a lot younger. She like is very childlike.
Mm-hmm.
She also does cat role plays with 2 of the other characters like all the time.
So there are other cat girls.
No,
not really. There's a dragon girl.
Yes.
There's a dragon girl and a spider girl.
Scalies.
No, don't be pro Scalies.
I'm pro dragons, not necessarily pro
There's a dragon girl and a cat girl, but like that's it. No, dragon girl, spider girl, cat girl. That's it.
Okay, Spider Girl's cool.
That's just because you like Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Fact, as you should. So next up we have Kanaya Mayram. She's a Jade Blood. She's the Virgo, vampire fashion queen. She gives one of the other characters his comeuppance and saws him in half with her chainsaw.
She has a chainsaw?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She is the true girl boss. And she also marries Rose in the end. She's a lesbian icon for the people. We stan her.
Next, we have Terezi Pyrope, who is a teal blood and a Libra. She's blind, but she can taste colors, which is really interesting because she can taste the blood of people. So, like...
Is she a vampire as well?
No, but she can just, like, taste people. She can be like, oh, I can tell you're a red blood because you taste like cherry. And Carcat does not like that.
She sounds like one of those, like... She sounds like one of those, like jerk rich people that's like, oh, I can tell you're poor just by how you smell or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
She's obsessed with dragon and the law. Dragon.
Is she the dragon girl?
Yes. Her cane has like a little dragon on it, and she's a nice rapport with Dave.
They're besties.
Next, we have the one and only Vriska Skeeter.
Circuit.
I say Skeeter.
Skeeter. Does that look like it says Skeeter to you?
Look, we all know that I'm dyslexic.
Why did we not discuss this before?
What is it? What?
Anyways, she has like a teal, like darkish blue blood. Kind of mean, but in a sexy way.
Wait, what is Vriska though? What zodiac is she?
Scorpio.
Okay.
That makes
She's
sense
a-
if she's sexy.
She's obsessed
We
with
learned things.
spiders. People like to say Vriska did nothing wrong, but she definitely did stuff.
Wait, she's the
wrong.
one who pushed the Taurus guy off the
Yeah.
cliff.
The
did.
troublemaker.
Rest in peace, Travos.
Is he like dead? Wait, he's
No,
not dead.
he's
in
not
a
dead.
wheelchair.
He's in
not
a
dead.
wheelchair. You're trying to trick us now.
Next is Equius, who is the Sagittarius. He's like really buff and really strong. He loves horses and he's always sweaty.
Okay.
He makes a robot body for I'm gonna say her name wrong again. Aradia. And he has an affinity for being talked down to by the high bloods.
So he's a sub horse boy.
He likes being talked down to.
He
He's-
likes
oh,
it
he's-
very much.
Oh, so he's not a sadist, but the opposite of a
A
sadist.
masochist.
A masochist.
Well,
He asks them to do it like more than once.
this next character is definitely a sadist.
Oh, they should
Alright.
be friends.
This is Gamzee Marcada. Yeah. He's an indigo blood. So like a really darkish purple. He's a Capricorn. Remember in 2016 when there were killer clowns?
Yes.
That was him.
He's a killer clown.
Yes.
Is he like the thing that like happened when like the clown and the grandma's ashes were mixed together, or is that completely different?
That's completely
they-
different.
Okay.
So that has nothing to do with.
That has nothing to do with him. He
There are too many clowns in this.
He kills a lot of other characters. He's like a juggalo. He loves the soda brand Faygo. He does drugs and is high all the time. Like,
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure he's the least favorite out of everyone.
Yeah, he's
He's the bad boy.
I mean,
what a
Equius is
Capricorn.
my least favorite, but I also really don't like Gamzee. Like, I really don't like him.
He doesn't sound very
Enjoyable.
yeah, he sounds kind of like a jerk.
Yeah, there's only like a few characters that really tolerate him. Which
Mm.
so. Next up we have Eridan Ampora. Honestly, my favorite character, unfortunately. He's a violet blood, an Aquarius. He's an incel. I'm sorry. He's he's a genocidal fishman. He wants to kill all the land dwellers, but he also lives on land and does not want to live in the ocean.
Interesting.
Is very interesting. He hates being in water, but he thinks that fish are superior. And he would do absolutely anything for Fefri, who is the last character. Fefri,
Pisces.
Mhm.
species, is a fuchsia blood. She's the Pisces character. She's very complicated. Her last name means fish in Portuguese, so that's fun. She's like a mermaid fish princess. She's really, really cool. But she has to bring other trolls down to the bottom of the ocean to feed her Lucis, which is like her alien parent. And she's pretty much immortal, which is cool. But she kind of makes Eridan do all of her dirty work, which is where that sort of comes in.
So she like doms him.
Do not ever say that again. I never.
Everything about this just seems really weirdly sexual, so I feel like
They're
it's okay.
13-year-olds. They're
They are
13.
Not the trolls.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
13 years old.
The trolls are all also 13.
Yeah.
When
Why
they
are
can live
they?
for like millions of years, they're just like newborns.
Yeah.
They
Well,
calculate years in a different way. They count it by like, I think it's like either like solar or lunar sweeps or something like
Yeah.
that.
although
But,
like Carcat can only live to be like 40.
But that's like not normal, but like more normal than living to be like 12 million years old. Like compared to that, it's like I feel like the Pisces guy is like a baby compared to
Yeah.
Carcat, who's basically just like
Or
having a midlife crisis.
or is it like all the type of thing where they're like all mentally 13? Like they're all like no matter how old they are, like the mentality is of what a 13-year-old would be.
They are all 13 years old in human years.
So so no.
So it's weirder.
That's weird. That's just
So
that's
it's
just weird.
worse. So yeah,
In
those are all of the characters. We introduced you guys to the lore. Oliver, in summary, take it away.
yeah, you cannot fight the Homestuck.
It's so interesting.
We haven't even begun to scratch their surface. There's also the Alpha timeline.
Which has its own set of characters.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like a spin-off.
Like it's no.
So it's
What?
so it's not a spin-off. Is it like a season 2 type of thing?
No.
Is it like an AU?
No, it's
So
Is
it's
it like
still the main story, it's just a different timeline.
is it like how Umbrella Academy is like
No, so basically the Alpha timeline, just like a basic summary of it, is it's the parents and guardians of the original kids, but now it's their turn to play the game, and they're 13 now.
there's
why
also,
are they 13? Stop making people 13.
There's also
It's
the
for
trolls.
kids.
There's also like the trolls that came before those trolls.
The ancestors.
Yeah, and it's like the whole like
And
you
then
know,
So it's like the
trolls that came
prequel.
before them too.
yeah. There's intermissions. There's just so much.
There's the Midnight Crew.
It sounds like it's created like a world of its own. Like there's the original lore, and then there's all the lore that came after, and then that's like it gets just crazier and crazier and crazier.
Was the dude who wrote it in the first place, was he 13 when he started writing it?
No.
So he was an adult man,
Yeah.
or like a teenager. Like was he an
How
adult?
old was he?
I want to say like
Well,
20s or
he's 40
30s.
now, so he's probably like 30.
Yeah.
Oh, so a 30-year-old man.
Created a fictional game, like
Slightly
game
sexual.
It's a game world starring a bunch of 13-year-old zodiac people and normal people. Well, not normal people, but kids. And they're all in like this strange temporal Jumanji game on another planet fighting for godhood.
Yes, that is exactly what this is. Congratulations,
Wow.
Daryn. You understand Homestuck.
I don't. This is just what I could pick up.
I'm still confused about how the blood things happen.
It's okay. You're a little slow, honey.
Just because I'm a little slow means nothing. I'm a Pisces, which makes me the best of the best.
Basically, your blood color determines how long you live, your job, your zodiac sign, kind of. Yeah, your zodiac sign. That's it.
And that's it. So like it's like determines your class, occupation, and your life longevity, which is interesting. What just as a question, what drew you guys to Homestuck? Because you look back on this now, and you guys. I'm so glad I'm glad you guys like came on this show and explained this to us, because when we've talked about it briefly in like our real life, you guys seem to be like embarrassed by your like of Homestuck. So what drew you to it in the first place, and what makes you embarrassed to look back on it now?
Was this like a thing that like your friends were reading and so they told you to do it? Like where did this come from?
Well, shout out to my friend Christina, who I literally texted. I was like, listen to this show. They've been texting me the whole time. I would say that
I'm excited to see the commentary.
Yeah, she definitely got me into it. And I actually watched the YouTube videos. I didn't read it. Because there's like a little animation and the voice acting was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So there's voice actors?
Well, yeah, like in the
web
videos
series.
where they read the series.
Oh, right.
It's literally called like Let's Read Homestuck, and you just read it.
Now I have a question.
Oh.
Wait, sorry. You go first.
No, I had this when I was in middle school. I had some friends that were into it, but they were also embarrassed by it, which kind of made me kind of adopt that mindset. Like I'm not apologetic about any of the things that I like and enjoy. Clearly, I mean, I talk about other things all the time. But the thing is that because it's kind of infamous, like on the internet and stuff, like people just have these assumptions about you based on whether or not you even read it. And then if you read it, which characters you like, or what you thought about certain things, or if you say Vriska did nothing wrong, which she did stuff wrong. We need to acknowledge that. So kind of I've actually went back into it when I was in my freshman year of college, last year, where I would read Homestuck just to try and catch up, and then Homestuck 2 came out, and then that really got me like really back into it. So,
interesting.
Never finished Homestuck.
I never finished it, but this is the stuff that I know about, which is like the beginning and the middle, but not the
Do
end.
you suggest that we read/watch Homestuck to understand it?
So honestly, I think that if you're into video games and you're into adventure, it's definitely like some kind of project you can take on. It's like a bucket list kind of thing. I think it's something that everyone should definitely try. I mean, it's a webcomic, like it's not something that's gonna harm you. I mean,
much.
It seems like something really interesting to me, because I really am fascinated by by fandom that kind of takes a life on its own and like has this existence on the internet, because without the internet and the culture that the internet sort of is able to cultivate, nothing like Homestuck would ever exist. And so when I hear about like little internet communities that have like such a big impact that I've never heard of before, it's so fun to listen and hear what people have to excuse me, sorry, I like this burp just like sitting in my chest. But it's really interesting to see what people like are into or were into like growing up.
And we didn't even get into the fandom.
Like
I'm sure it's interesting.
Infamous. Like it is, there are some things that are just absolutely reprehensible.
Is it like Tumblr kind of a situation, or is it like
stuff that carried into real life?
Ooh, no.
What?
No.
Talk about the person that tried to dye their skin with Sharpies, or the person that super glued horns to their head. Like they're like, yeah.
See, this is what reminds me of creepypasta, because of like those kids that like committed a murder for Slenderman or something like that.
Well,
they tried. Right. They like, she lived. But that's so interesting. That's so weird.
As someone who like had really cringy things that I liked in middle school, like I understand. Maybe I'll talk about Carmilla one day on the show. But like I understand like why you got into it, but like it's just a fun thing to explain it to other people and hear like what is going on.
Yeah, my thing was Super Hulock when I was a kid.
Of course.
Super Hulock was my thing. I loved the triad of nerddom on Tumblr.
I just wanted lesbian vampires, so
Well, Homestuck is the place to go if you want lesbian alien vampires.
I would love that. My new obsessions right now are Doctor Who and the Vampire Diaries. So I don't think
those are new obsessions, dear.
They're not new, but like I've recently gone back into them. So I might be talking about either one on the show coming up. Who knows?
Reilly, before we go,
Olympic figure skating.
Before we go, Reilly, did you ever cosplay Homestuck?
No, never ever.
I wish I had that luxury to say that.
Wow. You cosplay like all kinds of characters, so I'm not shocked.
I cosplayed Doctor Who, but never Homestuck.
Anyway, everybody who's been listening, that's all we've got for today. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show.
Thank you to our guests for coming in and telling us about Homestuck.
Tell them your Instagram real quick.
Yeah, plug yourselves.
Yeah, my Instagram is at wonder_gal1020, and you can follow the show I'm producing at imaginary.wim.
My Instagram is radioactive.oliver.
My Instagram is Elliot Kelliot.
Mine is Daryn-ish. And also, please make sure to check out Reilly's show, check out any of our stuff that we probably will plug on our Instagrams, but also check out the show's Instagram at Technically Not Experts, and our YouTube channel where we upload all of our recorded episodes, including this one and all of the previous ones.
Tune in next time to find out if we ever actually become experts in anything.
At 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every single Monday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.